I want to tell a story about the importance of paying attention, and it's not about speed, but it's about the infrastructure that goes around the collisions, and how one person's actions when they get it wrong can be life-changing to a lot of people, not just their own family members. So a few years ago I started on a late shift and I got to work, started having a debrief, and an RTC came in. It came in at Otley Road at Eldwick, just above Bingley, and it was a one-car RTC. This road is known to me for a lot of reasons, but it's a bit like a roller coaster track in certain parts. You get onto it and it goes down, up and down, but really tight angles, and it's kind of road where your tummy turns over. A lot of people drive fast on this bit of road, and it's always causing collisions. We're always up there. So we get told to go to this collision, and I drive. It's quite hard to explain how I'm doing this now. I drive to the scene and I'm already thinking the worst in my head. All the things that are going wrong. There's nothing simple. There's nothing easy about what I'm going to face, even though it's one vehicle RTC. I get to the scene and I put my vehicle across the road and block the scene off. And as I get out, there's two cars in the road, both are kind of rear end damage and only minor damage with these cars. I say to the people that are stood in the road, what's happened? And they've turned around and said, the car that's it has left. It's gone, it's left the road. So I'm looking around and I can't grasp what's going on here. I just don't get, it's made off. It's just an RTC stop fail report. She says, no, it's left the road, it's over there in the woods. So as I turn round, the country road, it's got an undulation on one side, a 4-foot grass banking, a brick wall, a stone built wall, and it goes off then into a load of trees. And as I looked, there was a Porsche Boxster on its side, smoking out of the front rear. Run across road, jump over this wall, run in, and the Porsche is still on its side, engine just spluttering as though it's stalling itself out. Driver still in the driver's seat of the car. What's happened is he's come down the road, he's accelerated hard, and the crest that goes up, it's a blind crest with a slight left-hand turning, and it's also got an adverse camber on. So basically what that means is the road bends down and sinks to the right-hand side. This gentleman's gone up, and as he's gone up, his car's left the road. He's put a bit of left-hand steer on. As soon as it's landed with the adverse camber, it's shot him to the left, over the gap, into the wall, over the wall, it's rolled into the woods. We've got there, I've run around the back of the car to where the driver is, and the driver's in the driver's seat and he's been impaled by a branch. It's clear from his injuries he's going to prove fatal, but he's still breathing and still kind of moving. It's what happens when the body goes into, I'm only going to say death mode. It still breathes, it still moves. We've had loads of jobs where we've dealt with a fatal or a dead body, and then 15 minutes later the arms come up or the legs come up, the head's moved, they've breathed, they've tried to sit up inside a body bag. Bodies do this because it's just the energy that's getting released all the time, muscle spasms and things like that. I mean, muscles might be going 45 years and they're still going to be moving. It doesn't just instantly stop, certain things happen. So I start trying to give him CPR. But every time I give him CPR, the wounds that he's got just generate more blood flow and more blood flow. It's horrendous to see him still sat in his driver's seat of a vehicle. It's really, really hard. And especially when the car's propped up on its side and it's just a branch that's impaling the driver, that's holding the driver into the car and the car up on its side. If you push too hard, the car's going to come back over on yourself, or the car's going to go back the other way. You've got colleagues now running around the car, you've got instant paramedics coming, instant response paramedics. The friend that attended with me, they were a lad called Dave, who's a traffic cop, he attended with me and we did the best we can for this bloke. And a paramedic called Lee, now this was traumatic for Lee. Lee, I think, ended up going off sick for a long time, and I think he left the ambulance service for this, but went somewhere else. He basically died with us. We had to watch this man die. We couldn't unplug him from the tree because it had just caused more injuries on himself. Ambulance and fire came to the scene, and I remember doing CPR on him, and every time I pushed on him, where the floor was undulated, it was like a mossy floor, and I was getting pushed back into the floor, and it was the car rocking towards me, and it was like sinking my feet further into the floor. And I only had to stop because of my own safety. I only had to stop because I just thought, this car's going to come over and land on me. I can't justify doing this anymore. I know you're going to be someone's family member, but I can't afford to get crushed. But at that time I was first person there at the scene. It's a strange concept when someone dies in front of you. People always say that your body's just a vessel, and I don't know what people believe out there, and I don't know how people want to think, but when the spirit, or whenever the lifeline or the buzz, the spark, the whatever goes inside you, the body just becomes a shell, an empty shell, and it's massively clear on their eyeballs, the jaw and the mouth when someone's gone. And when you're watching that happen live in front of you and you can't do anything about it, that's a massive, massive thing you've got to take on your shoulders, because you know what's happened, he knows what's happened because he's in the car, your opposite know what happened, but he's still got family. And his family just going on about their day-to-day business, not knowing that the loved ones just literally leaving the body and going, however you want to put it, or just dying. Eventually, a short time later, the car was secure, fire brigade came, cut the branch, extracted him from the vehicle, and obviously he was pronounced deceased at the scene, all just due to a little bit of not knowing the road, a little bit of minor judgment, a little bit of just not being switched on enough, whether you want to put it speed, vehicle positioning, just not paying attention. So by that time you've got me, three other bobbies that have come to the scene, Dave, paramedics, fire ambulance, everyone. So there must be 25 emergency service workers there at the time. We get this gentleman out and we lay him at side road and we're trying to confirm ID. And all I can hear is and his phone's constantly going all the time. Pad him down, he's got his wallet in his pocket and he's got his phone in his other pocket. And he's take his phone out and look at his phone and it comes up and says wife on phone. And he's got about something like 38 missed calls from wife and it's just ringing and ringing. So now we've got a deceased body, confirm ID, and phone going, but the phone's constantly going. We deal with the scene and the gentleman, the deceased male's taken away, and we send the FLO and I go back and start doing the paperwork. I'm halfway through the paperwork and the FLO comes back in. It's just fucking hell, that was bizarre with that. And says, how did it go? You always want to know, not how did they take it, but how was it? What actually went on? And she says it was bizarre. Apparently they've been waiting to go on a summer holiday, to somewhere like Norfolk or a camping holiday, wherever. And the deceased male had finished work early to get home, got in his Porsche, and come over tops to where he was going. And I think he was just getting a bit giddy about, I'm going on holiday with my family. Just not paid attention at the right point, lost control and killed himself. She's at home with bags packed and kids sat there waiting for him to get home. And he's never coming home. So it got to the point when we're going, Mum, well, we're just waiting for your dad to get home. And then one of the children turned around to the lady and says, Daddy's not coming home, he's dead. And when FLO officer got there and says, look, there's something happened. She said, he's not dead, is he? Because one of the kids had been saying he's dead. So I've been trying his mobile for the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, half an hour. So when we're dealing with him at roadside and the phone's going wide, because kids at home said, he's not coming home, he's dead.
Not from like a spiritual standpoint, but that sixth sense of that kid, like what do you think prompted this?
You always say kids are susceptible to all sorts of things, aren't they? They don't live in our boxes that we live in, they're not sheltered by the things we've seen in our emotions. It could have just been a bit of guesswork, it could have been something. You all think when you're young you've done something, seen something. Or I remember when my granddad died and I knew something was going to go on, and my brother went out that night and got pissed, and I stayed in, didn't drink, and a phone call came and my nan rang and says, your granddad's had a stroke, you need to come up. I didn't just stay in because I just wanted to be able, I just stayed in because I knew something inside was going to happen. It's not, I don't think it was a sixth sense, but I just think, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. It's just bizarre, isn't it? But what hurt me was the fact that we knew something that they didn't know. Yeah. And it's not like school ground rules, it's just a bit bizarre that I've got this information now and that your life's going to be destroyed from what I'm going to tell you or from what's going to happen. You don't know your life's already destroyed, but I know your life's destroyed because of what's gone on. So you think about the circle of events now, with her being at home, where is he, ringing, us at roadside, looking at the phone, all the emergency workers there. Then you've got to go look at all people in hospital that have taken him, think about the people that he's hit, think about their insurance companies, the trauma they've gone through, what they've seen. Then you think about all the infrastructure that's dealing with repairing the cars. Then her with her family and the next of kin trying to tell them in the funeral, all because of one person's actions. And then we've got to take it on our chest about what's gone on and dealing with his body. And all I can ever remember is looking at that phone and thinking, I could pick this up now and let him know. But you wouldn't do it but she knows something. That's why she's ringing constantly. And you just think if you could bring them back, and you come back to the beginning of the bump, and you said, right, I'm going to give you two options. You can go road A, road B. Go road A, this is what's going to happen to you. If you go road B, pull back 22 miles an hour. Keep left. Don't do that. Don't overcorrect your steering. You'll be home in 25 minutes. You'll be home 4 minutes later than what you were going to be in first place. It serves no purpose for you speeding to get there 5 minutes earlier to fact now you're dead. When you're trying to give CPR, when you're trying to help these people that are, you know they're dead, but you do it, or you know they're virtually going to be not surviving their injuries, it's a bizarre time because you're thinking like, I could just stop, but if members of the public just saw me stop and walk away, but then I think, well, what happens if that were me? What happens if that were my loved one? What happens if that were my dad or my brother? Do I want them to stop and I won't stop? Because I wouldn't want it to be the other way around. And I'm not being funny, if it were me, I wouldn't want them to stop for a couple of hours. I'd be still thinking, you can get him back. But the amount of injuries they get, you can't. But it was a sad day. It was a sad day. And I remember being in papers and it showing you a picture of this gentleman with his family and stuff. And if he'd have just been a little bit slower, if he'd just put his vehicle a little bit different on the road, not set off when he set off, this wouldn't have happened. And I just basically want people to understand that everyone can speed. Just because you can drive fast in a straight line don't mean you're a good driver. I just think what you need to take away from this story is that one person's actions destroy hundreds of lives. So just next time you think about speeding, or next time you think about doing something stupid in your car, just think about those people that might not make it home that day, and the people that have got to deal with the aftermath of your decisions. So please drive safely, and yeah, that's it.
We've launched a Patreon channel. If you want to help out, please see the link below. Thank you.